All right. So before I get into this trade breakdown, I just want to get a few points across that I think would be helpful to many people out there. If many people just understood there's one or two things, then they could probably be much better traders, better analysts, and yeah, just in, improve their performance in general, right? So the very first thing is people need to understand market cycles, right? The market is always moving in consolidations, expansions, retracements, and we got reversals and whatnot. And as a trader, you want to focus on what? You want to focus on the expansion phase, right? The expansion phase of the market. You don't want to be trading the reversal. Oh, well, you can trade the reversal, but it's not as convenient and conducive as trading the expansion leg, right? And at the same time, you want to make sure that you are trading a continuation signature, right? That's what we call a continuation signature. You don't want to be trading the reversal of the day or the reversal of whatever not. Like I said, I'm not okay with trading reversals, but you can try. But eventually you get to the same conclusion that I got to, which is to say expansion phases, which is days like this, 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 with huge ranges, right? Days like this and this. Those are the days that you want to be focusing on. Those are the days that you want to pay so much attention to. Because if you just solely focus on this, on expansion days, the likelihood of your stop being hit gets pretty much reduced, right? It goes pretty much lower than however you've been performing. If you are getting stopped out 5 times out of 10 and you just focus on expansion days, that's probably going to be around 3 times or 2 times out of 10 now. That is just how good expansion days are because they don't really have much time to play around. The day is just expanding to the next draw on liquidity. That is the secret behind it. And you have to know how to identify a potential expansion day. But getting getting through that, right here we have Boom 500. We had this old law. I don't have anything significant on the other side on the left. And we can see what this day did. We put in this law. This is on Tuesday. We put in this law, manipulating that old law. There's a reversal day, and then yesterday expands away from this law. So to me, I'm looking at this as a significant law on the daily. We don't need to be coming back to that. And as I came into the marketplace today, that's what I had. I had this day and an open draw on liquidity in the form of this high and this high right there. But I was focusing so much on that high. I think I have a text on my phone or something. Right, I was focusing so much on that high, not to be looking for that per se. So we can get rid of that. And I was looking at the hourly before anything else. Right, hourly time frame. And there's what I had. There's the opening of the new day at 12 midnight. But prior to that, what do we have? Opposing candles getting close through. Right, I think I'm gonna use the blue color code. Opposing candles getting close through. That's what mostly call order blocks. I don't want to get into the order blocks conversation, whatever you refer to them as, but as long as you're doing the accurate thing. So opposing candles in an expansion phase need to be supporting price higher. As you can see, close through, support price, close through, support price, close through this, we support price. And as we close through these candles, we are forming new invalidation points. And to me, invalidation points are simply areas that I don't want to see price trading back to or trading through, right? So there's an invalidation point, there's an invalidation point rather, and there's another invalidation point. As I came into the marketplace, I can get rid of this now. 12 midnight, I came into the marketplace, I'm thinking there's a protected law now. It's an invalidation point. I don't need to see price coming back to this if we're truly bullish to that upside or open buy side liquidity pool right there. So what I basically did is I looked for a continuation signature. Even if he was using this, it would have been okay. If one was to execute on that, I don't see anything wrong with this. Executing of the hourly, it's a conservative way of going about it. You'd execute upon that. You don't need a retest, right? And where is your stop gonna be? On the low, right? That's there and you target that. But I usually encourage people to go for a 1:2. But my execution was based off the M30 and the M15 around the same area, right? Because if you look at the M30, it is a clearly defined series of opposing candles right there. We closed through that. And when I came into the chart, I think price was somewhere around on this candlestick right there, on the 630 candlestick, retracing back into this series of down close candles, right? And my entry was somewhere around this right here. I think I had something like that, I would like to believe. And my other entry was at the very low of this right there, somewhere there. And I was targeting that 1:2. But like I said, the majority of the entries were about there. So that would have allowed for that. And I wasn't really targeting for that high. I was just using it as an open draw and a magnet that is attracting price towards it. And if you look on the M15, we had opportunities to scale up, just to say opportunities to add on our positions, but I didn't take those because I just thought, nah, let me just focus on my shit. So new down close candle, close through that. That's another entry opportunity, especially as we dig into it. Like I said, we don't need a retest, so you can just take that, move your stop to right here. That's a very good stop management. And then another one right about there. I don't do the befores and afters really. That is just work in my view. Everybody does that. Even those who don't know how to fucking trade, they just draw everything and then they pick the screenshots that are convenient to that shit. What's up with my cursor really? Right, so you could have had that as a continuation signature, and you got so many, right? Even if you was using the M15, clearly defined series of down close candles, that's your entry. I'm not trying to enter right here. I'm just looking for this easy continuation signatures that are being influenced by a higher time frame, like the M30, the hourly, and the M15. So as you can see, this how it basically went. And now, for those who don't actually believe this type of things, let me just go to my executions, and this is what we had. This is basically what we had. Stop loss at the low, entry on that retest of this down close candles. Like I said, I came back into the chart as it was trading back into this. And then the next thing that I did was I allowed this to close through this opposing candle. This candle closes through the opposing candle. And then I moved my stop to where? I moved my stop to this new invalidation point. You cannot see it because there's the M30, but look where my TP is on that 1:2 mark. And that's basically what I did. 1:2, got out right there. That is beyond 1:2, and that was that. Because I was going with the slippage, not against it. So it's most likely to spike through the TP. So yeah, I think that's basically that really. I hope you got one or two nudges from that. Just understanding expansion phases or the expansion phase of price, you'd get moves like this, moves like this, moves like this that are very much what volatile. This is what you would be getting.